Hello and welcome back, everybody. I know it's weird. It's Tuesday, if unless you're listening to the replay on a different day, but this podcast is going out on Tuesday because this is going to be the first of my daily pods. Now, when I say daily podcasts, I mean Monday through Friday. Going to take the weekends to make sure that everything is made pretty, edited, and all that. But just so you know what to expect going forward, I'm going to try and make this as long running as I possibly can where I get you guys something to listen to every single day of the week, Monday through Friday. Okay. Because if you can tell right now, my voice is a little bit low, but that's because I was traveling. I was just at the Vigor Ground Fitness and Business Summit, and I learned a ton. And this is not even the first, it's probably like the second or third conference I've come away with. And I've had this like urge to go into these podcasts and start doing them daily because I know that you guys seem to get a lot out of them, and it's the podcast has been starting to grow. So I just want to give you everything that I possibly can and see where it takes us. So I hope that you guys enjoy this going forward, and let me know if you do like it or if you want me to dial it back and just go back to the two. I mean, I'm doing this for you guys so you get the most out of it. So let me know in the Fit 40 family if you're in there, or and you could send me a DM, or you could email me, Brian at fit40coaching.com. But yeah, anyway, let's get on with the first episode. And I think it's pretty appropriate that it is imperfect action. Okay. The concept today we're going to be talking about is imperfect action in the sense that you want to take messy action when you begin something. Because, yes, I've been doing the podcast a while now, and we'll talk more about that later. But when it comes to doing anything new, when it comes to starting something, you can never ever go in thinking, I need this to be perfect. I need everything to line up just right. Because if you do, it'll never, ever end up happening. And I can tell you this actually, I didn't initially have this story lined up in my notes, but it fits very well. And that is my proposal story. So for anybody who doesn't know, I proposed to my girlfriend about 2 weeks ago, and she is now my fiance. So it worked. But basically, I was trying to make it perfect. I was trying to get everything lined up just so. And in the process of doing that, it became more and more clear that I'm like, okay, if I keep trying to line this up and this up and this up and this up, then this is never ever going to happen. And we're going to go years without me actually popping the question. So get the basics down. Like for me, it was okay, ask her parents for permission, get the ring, and then pick a solid location. Okay. And then when it came to getting everybody there, obviously our parents were there. But when it came to like my brother, his girlfriend, and everybody else that I did want there, I'm like, okay, I got to compromise on something. So that had to be it. I had to pick a date to make sure that it went down. Now, did it go off exactly how I had it imagined in my head with everybody there that I wanted to be there and every single thing to a T? No. But what did it end up being a perfect memory for me and for her? Yes. And did it work? Yes. So that was really the key thing is just do the damn thing and know what you are willing to, I guess you could say, compromise on to make sure that it lines up with actually how you want to do things. So for a lot of people, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to nutrition. Okay. The main thing, the ring on it all is really getting the job done. So when it comes to exercise, are you actually getting workouts in? Regardless if they're perfect, regardless if they're group classes or strength classes or cardio or whatever, leave all that behind. Are we moving? That's the ring of it all. That is the giant diamond on the whole thing, is the action that you're taking. And then when it comes to the food side of things, big thing being, are we eating the foods that we know are healthy most of the time? Does it matter what the perfect macro split is in the beginning? No. Does it matter how much water that you're drinking? Is it like perfectly the right amount? Does it matter? No. It just matters that you're drinking water. It does it matter that you are getting the perfect amount of protein from day one? No. Okay. All this stuff is things that you can touch up later. You need to start imperfectly in the beginning. You need to give it a go, and you really need to make sure that you build some momentum. Okay. Because that's why in the Fit 40 program, the very first thing that we do on the kickoff call, I ask them to promise me to take imperfect action. Do your best without expecting perfect. And if you can do that, then you see really good success. All right. And another good example of this is this podcast in itself started with imperfect action. If you guys go way back, right? The first episode is actually deleted because the very first episode of this podcast was filmed at 3, maybe 4 a.m. with me and one of my best friends, Bobby. And we were drunk because if you didn't put two and two together, 3 a.m., chances are there was alcohol involved. Okay. I had been saying I wanted to do a podcast, and it just got to the point where I looked at him. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do one right now. Let's like rip the band-aid off. Let's just do it. And then we did it. It was absolute crap. It was a horrible episode and it had no real direction. It wasn't even fitness based. It was just us like chatting. But what it did is it removed the fear factor. It's like, okay, well, I already did it. So now that wasn't really as scary as I thought it was. And all that build up in my head really wasn't that big of a deal. And now the next one will be even better. And then from that point, continued imperfect action a little bit further, because if you go back and look, there are video episodes, I believe, of me doing it in the car on the way to and from work. Because at the time I was a in-person small group trainer, and I would roll into work some days at like 5 a.m. and leave like in the afternoon, sometimes 6, 7, 8 at night. And I'm like, okay, I want to keep doing this, but when the heck am I going to do it? So I got a little mount like for the GPS when you put your GPS on your phone and you want to keep it on your dashboard or whatever. I bought one of those, aimed it right at me, and I had like a headset on at the time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to drive and riff. I'm just all the thoughts that are going to go on in my head. I'm just going to talk it out and figure it out. And if you do want a trip down memory lane, there are a few funny ones where I do get a little bit of road rage because I was in Jersey at the time, and it is very common to have jerk offs on the road that you sometimes need to flip off or sometimes need to get let out your frustrations. So, needless to say, does that make for a perfect podcast? Absolutely not. Did it get the job done? Yes. Did people learn a lot during that time? Absolutely. And did the podcast grow? Clearly. Okay. All you have to do is get going. All you have to do is take that initial step. So if you're stuck right now and you're not doing anything, or you feel like you could be doing more, whatever that big scary thing is, or whatever you're putting off because you're like, when this lines up, when I have this down, just just cut yourself off right at that thought and say, screw that. I'm doing this because I'm doing whatever I can right now. Even though I can't do this, I'm going to do that. And then when you do that, that's going to serve you very, very well. Because once you get past that, then you have begun mastering the art of imperfect action that you're going to have to continue to take down the road. And I was actually just talking to a client this morning who is dealing with a bit of an injury right now. Now, she injured her shoulder, whether during exercise or during something during the day. We're not really quite sure. It's just one of those things that manifested, and it could have a million different reasons as to why. But the thing here is that clearly the shoulder is out of commission. Now, does that mean that we can get these perfect workouts in? No, we have to adjust. We have to do whatever that she can do in the moment that won't hurt the shoulder. Now, can she still be good on her nutrition? Yes. There's nothing about that shoulder that will hold her back from making good decisions as far as um, getting enough protein, eating vegetables, getting the right amount of calories in, and all that. And if she can focus on those things, then she will be going in the right direction, even though she's not being perfect. And that also helps mentally too, because eventually you get to the point where you're like, okay, clearly I can't do all the things all the time, but I'm going to focus on those few things that I can do. And when you can do that, that's where the whole game changes. When you can actually focus on the things that you have control over, the things that you do day in, day out, and you're like, okay, I'm doing a lot of really good things rather than all the good things. That's when you start really believing in yourself and saying, hey, I control my destiny in all of this, and I can do a lot of good things. And when you do that, you build momentum. And what that allows us to do is tackle the other issue, which is the perfectionism, because people are like, it has to be optimized, it has to be perfect, but you can't optimize zero. You can't perfect nothing. There needs to be something there for you to tweak, to improve upon. So when you are able to take those little steps to do some sort of action, you can tweak it and fine tune it along the way to make it perfect for you. And then when you do that and you do make it perfect for you, it becomes easier to make the decisions you need to make. It becomes easier to do the actions that you want to do. And then that's when you get the awesome results that you want down the road. So that being said, take some damn imperfect action. I just gave you a whole lot of proof right there. It's the proof is in the pudding. The only thing holding you back is that bullshit story in your head saying that you have to have everything right to start. Okay, so let's cut that shit out. Get started today if you haven't already. And if you have started, keep that momentum going, keep tweaking, keep fine tuning, and enjoy the ride because it never ends. So you got to embrace it and enjoy it while you're on the road to your success that you have down the road. All right. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to take this a step further, you're like, all right, I feel jacked up. I feel ready to go. I want to do something with it. Go ahead and do one of three things, really. One, go grab the ultimate guide to get fit over 40, because if you want some workouts, if you want some nutrition guidance and recipes to make, and you want that to be your first step, it's all in there. It's a simple 3-step guide to get you going. So definitely take advantage of that. Or if you want that next level and have the community along with it, go ahead and join the Fit 40 family if you are not already in it. We're actually running our Killing Cravings Challenge starting today as I'm filming this, which is technically yesterday because you're listening to this on Tuesday. I'm filming it Monday. But if you want to get in on that, it's never too late. These free challenges are every single month. So get your butt in there, sign up for the challenge. We'd love to have you. And then last but not least, if you want to just do the damn thing, if you want to take it to that next level, get the accountability that you need and the individual guidance, then that's what Fit 40 coaching is for. So if you're interested in that and you want to learn more, go ahead and click the link below, and you can find the other links to the guide and the Fit 40 family also down below in the show notes and the description. And that is that. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I'll be doing this every day, Monday through Friday. So be sure to tune in tomorrow. See you later. Or actually, I almost messed that up. Okay. Go kick some ass. I'll see you guys tomorrow.